what is Maven and how do we use that Maven? So how do you download installation of Maven that we are going to discuss today. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about the Maven. So we have Maven. So Maven is a configuration tool which will help you to configure the project. Okay. So generally we see that we have a Java project and we have like different projects here. Okay. So JBX projects are some different projects. Okay. So but Maven is like kind of a configuration tool which will help you to configure the dependencies. Okay. So dependencies and the plugins. So it's here itself you can see this is Apache. It is coming from the Apache organization. Okay. So we have like Apache Py that we used for Excel file, right? So here also Apache supports not designing the project in the Maven. Okay. So like designing the Maven project. So Maven is like build configuration tool, which will help you to configure the dependencies and plugins. Okay. What are the different configurations? How do we download it? How do we install it? So here we have everything is given in this documentation. Okay. So what you need to do is like you can just go to this documentation. So that is mavenapache.org. So here you can see this is the Maven. Okay, what exactly happens internally with the Maven is like so we are creating some set of a project. Okay, let us take this is a project. Now in this project, as we discussed about, like we are going to have the dependencies. Okay, so what are those dependencies now? So these dependencies will help you to support the project. For example, if you want to have this jar files of Java. Okay, so Java jar files will be taken as like dependency. Okay, then we have like jar files of Selenium. So what we used to do is like we used to go to the build configuration, then we used to add this as like a jar files. Okay, so likewise we have jar files for the Py. So for this jar files, we used to add through this build configuration. But now as part of this Maven, all these things will be added as like a dependencies. Okay, so dependencies. What are the how the dependencies would be? Here it would be like we have like few tags that we have to use. Okay, artifact ID, version ID. Okay, and version ID and name of that particular artifact. Okay, so name of the dependency. So these dependencies should be put in this dependencies tag. Okay, so dependencies, under that we have to add it as like a dependency. So why do we need to add this as a dependency? For example, now if you want to use them and you are like sometimes what happens is like you have to just change the version. Okay, so change the version. So it's like only you need to go and just change the version of that particular artifact. Okay, so particular artifact ID. So this is kind of like it's very handy, and there are two repositories which are available. One is like we call it as like a local repository, another one is like we call it as like a central repository. Okay, so generally what happens is like when the Maven project is created, for example, we are creating the Maven project here. Okay, and we started adding those dependencies, like all the dependencies we have added. Okay, so now you see that first the dependencies would be coming from the central repository. Okay, central repository in the sense there are like group of jar files that will be handled here. Okay, that's nothing but it. All of them are like located here. Okay, so this is nothing but central repo. So first what happens is like first when we are when we have downloaded the Maven, then what we did is like we have installed the Maven. Then after we try to add the dependencies. Okay, at the first time what it does is like it's going to bring all these dependencies from the central repository. See, after that what it is going to do is like it's going to place it in the local repo. So this is nothing but our local machine. Okay, so why do we need to do is like the first time we are going to get all the dependencies from the central repository and it will be placed in local repository. Okay, so now it's like handy whenever we are trying to execute any project, like anything from the Maven, so it will be referring to this local repository. So it's kind of like a group of dependencies will be residing inside our machine. Okay, so in .m2 folder, what we say is like .m2 folder. In that .m2 folder, we are going to have these repositories. If something is changed, for example, there is now we are using version 0.1. In case if we are using some project, if some dependency and it has version 0.1. So if it changes to 0.2, then here what happens is like, if this is not available in the local repository, it will bring from the central repository and it will place it here. Okay. Only thing is like we need to go and change the version of it. So in case of jar files, if something is changing, for example, we have 0.1 jar and we want to move to 0.2, then we have to download it again. We have to add it as like build configuration. We need to remove the existing one. We need to add the new one. But here in case of Maven, it is not required. Only we need to update the version ID in this dependencies. Okay. We'll see how exactly we are going to create the Maven and how do we create with the, like, create the first program in the Maven. Okay. And what are the different source folders, reference libraries, and what are the Maven dependencies that we are going to add as part of like Selenium. Okay. So first thing is like, how do we download? Okay. So we'll look into these things. Let me just remove this one. So we look into since it's download, install, configure, and run. Okay. So we have Maven lifecycle also. So we can run, test, cleaning this build. Then we can generate the packages. So we generally use run, clean, and test. Okay. So that we are going to see how do we exactly use that. So now you can see when you click on this download, you can see there are like JDK kit. What is the dependencies that will be like what is that Maven exactly supports and requires prerequisites. Okay. So here you can see it requires JDK 8, and it's like if you are like still allows you against the 1.3 also. Okay. But we are using 17, you not to worry about this Java dependencies. See, operating system is like Windows. Now you see binary as well as like source files. Okay. So now you can see there are like few files which we have, like we have to download the binary. Okay. .zip, we have like binary, zip, archives. Okay. So click on this. It will download the Maven. Go here. And you can see that 3.9 min. Okay. 3.19 min. So already I have the version Maven. Let me just check. We have Apache have downloaded. Yeah. I'm using 3.8.7. Okay. But here we have 3.9. So what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to extract this. Okay. Extract all to this bin. Now we got this, right? So we got this Maven. So what I'm going to do is like, I'll just copy this. And I'm going to say now the download is done. Now I'm installing it. Okay. So coming here, and here in the program files, I'm just adding a folder called Maven. Okay. So inside this Maven, I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So let me just cut everything, put inside the Maven. Okay. Okay. I'll just delete this one. Simply copying everything from that Apache 3.9 bin to this particular program files, and I've created a Maven folder inside that. Okay. Now what you need to do is like, you need to take this path. So you have like Maven. This is the Maven that we have. Okay. So when you double click on it, so okay, enter smart program. Okay. It's not allowing me to run from here. I'll show you how do we exactly click on. Now we have installed and we have placed this folder. Like I just copied everything from Apache 3.9, like whatever version we have from there. I'm just copying it. I'm pasting it under the Maven folder. I've just created the Maven folder. I'm putting under the program files. Now go to this PC, right click on this. Now you can see, oh, not here. Yeah, right click on this grid editor. Now you see the properties. Okay. So what you need to do is like, you need to go to the advanced system settings and click on this environment variables. And you can see there are two things. Okay. So one is like we have a path here. Okay. So system variables and user variables. So here I'm going to create it as like, so already have just see, I've already given the path of 3.8.7. Okay. So I'm just removing this one. So here otherwise you can do two things. One is like browse or you can edit it. Okay. Edit and here I'm going to paste it. Okay. I'm taking it from the Maven bin. Okay. Earlier I took from the different place. Okay. But now I placed all this folder into the, all those folders of Apache Maven into the Maven folder and I'm putting under this bin. Okay. So now I have just saved it. So here also we'll see that if you have added this, so I did not add anything. So to be a safer side, you can just create, here also we can do it. Okay. So we can create a Maven and here also we can give the path as like Maven bin. Okay. So here also we can do it. So if you are doing from this user variables and if you want to have this user variables defined here in system variables, we can also do in other ways. Like we can just go ahead and here you have to give the percentage, whatever the Maven that we have created, right? So that we have to place it like this so that it will be referring this particular user defined variable. Okay. So here it is not required because we have already placed this Maven to be a safer side. If it's not picking up from this, it will pick up from this. If it is not working, then we can go ahead and try to add that Maven user variable as like a system variable. Okay. So we'll try to see that if that Maven is properly installed or not. For that, we need to just open the command prompt and you can type the version. Okay. MVN hyphen version. See, now it is showing like 3.9.2. Okay. Maven is like installed. Maven is like installed. It is showing up. So where it is coming from, see home, it is showing up like, home, Maven home and the location. Okay. So, and the versions also it is showing like on Windows 11, it got installed. And it's like runtime version, it is taking Java, it's like programming files, Java JDK 19. Okay. So now the Maven is installed. Fine. Now what we do is like the installation of Maven is done. Now I'm going to close everything. I will go to the Eclipse. Now we have to create a Maven project. Okay. How do we create Maven project? Before creating a Maven project, I want to add the plugin, Maven plugin. Okay. How do we add it? Go to help, installing software or market Eclipse. Okay. Eclipse marketplace I'm going to take. Okay. So that is one way of installing. The other way is like we can add the plugin or we can install the Maven from Eclipse also. So it is as similar as like we did the path configuration for Java, right? So in the same way we have to do. Okay, here I'm going to type Maven data available. Let me just check this one. Okay, let me just update this. Okay, now you see that it is showing the test engine Maven, so which is optional. Let me just install this. So few things are updated, so that is the reason why it was showing. Okay, let me finish it. Now go to this. Again, click on this Eclipse Marketplace and type Maven. It is already installed. It will not show that, but if it is not installed, then it's going to show me. Okay, so it is showing this. Yes, that is. So it will try to. So updating software, it will try to restart. Okay, so now it is started. Let me go here and go to Eclipse Marketplace. Yeah, let me just type Maven. So all these are like plugins that which are available. If we have like installed, let's go to the install. I think it's already installed. It's not showing up here. Yeah, TestNG for this Maven. See, support for latest version is like it's already available. Okay, Eclipse M2E. I'll just update this one. Okay, so this is what Eclipse M2E. Okay, so this is the software that we have to select. Finish it. It is updating now. Here it is showing like updating software. One is like downloading Maven. After that, we install it. Now we are configuring it. Now we are going to run, create a Maven project and run a sample program. Okay. It is updating. We'll wait for some time. Okay, just we need to restart this. Okay, so now you can go ahead and check that one. So go to the installed tab. You can see this is installed. Okay. We'll close it. How do we create a Maven project? Go to this file. You can see new. There's a Maven project. Okay. Click on this Maven project. And here. So here just we click on this next. It should display this all this. Okay. Let me just go to the archetype. So this is like we can use the archetype and whatever, like, we want to create a customized project, we can create it. Otherwise it will, yeah, it's like it was loading actually. So here, what we want to create is like, we want to create a simple artifact. Okay. So archetype simple. So here we have like, I'll just take the archetype. Simple, basic. The simple architect, I'm just searching for that, guys. So I should have this archetype here. It is still loading actually. It is showing me loading. Not showing up this. Let me type it as like quick archetype. It's loading. Yeah. Quick start should be the, yeah. Now you can see. Yeah. So we'll take this app archetype, or else we can see quick. Still we have anything. So it's like only simple one. Okay. Now we need not to take any complex archetypes. So we'll take the simple archetype app. So this is a quick start archetype. Next we'll try to include the archetype. Okay. Let me just go ahead with this. So here you can see group ID, artifact ID, and the version, and it's like package, which package you want to create. Okay, here I'm going to take it as like Maven, stroke ID, Maven. So artifact ID also I'm giving the same thing. Required services is Java SDK version. Service is not required. We'll remove all of this. This is not required for us. Let me take this one. This should not like it's only a quick start that we are trying to add like only a few things. Let me just do it again. Right click, sorry, click on this file. Let me take here others, and I'm going to type Maven project. So next, it will bring me the artifact here. So it is trying to get it from the central. Okay, Maven central. We have, like you can see, internal, default, local, or all categories. Okay, so it's like it is trying to pull this, and it will show here. Yeah. So we get the same thing from there also. Okay, I'm just trying to get the quick start. Okay. Yeah, we have this quick start artifact. Okay, we'll take the version. This one is the one that I was searching for. Yeah, now you see that artifact ID. I'm going to enter artifact ID here. Now we need not to give any set of like all whatever we have defined, right? So service, HTTP client, that is not required. So this is kind of like a simple project that we are going to have. Okay. Now when I click on this finish, it doesn't need anything. So it will be creating a project here. So you can get the project here once it is like building. It is creating a quick start project. Okay, I just want to take the sample one. So we have like complex things that we can configure in the Maven, but that is not required. As per our requirements, only we can go ahead with the quick start. So it's building. It will take some time. Now you see that it is downloading. It is showing all this. The console. It is downloading from the repo. Okay. So now it is showing like you can see information downloading this particular project. Okay. So quick start project from this location. From where it is downloading, you can see HTTP repo, Maven Apache. Okay. So Maven clean plugins, everything. It's like it's creating the project. Let's wait for some time. So it will take some time to create it. Okay, it's creating. Will take some time. After that, we can just go ahead and add the dependencies. We wait for it. So still you can see creating quick start project. Okay. So it doesn't take this much time, but I think it is like, okay. It is asking me for this. Yeah, build success. Now we at like it's asking all this information, guys. So I just gave the information here. Okay, so now we got the Maven project. So inside this project, you can see what are the folders that has come here. So we have like Maven Java, sorry, source main Java, source main resources, and source main test Java. Okay, so here we have got some project which is like kind of like it will automatically create it. So just I'm going to delete this one. Okay, that is not required. So here we have like source C. What is this? So this is nothing but it is showing up some examples here. Okay, resources, test main resources are test main. Okay, we'll put it like a common file across this. I'm just going to. So here also we have some kind of so sample. It has created some set of examples files. Okay, I'll just delete it and we don't need that one. Now you see that we got the structure here: source main Java, source main resources, source test Java, source test resources. Okay, so we don't need this source test resources. These are the source folders actually which are created. Okay, so to remove this, like which is not required for us, so we have to go to build path, go here, and you can see it's going to show up this. These are the source folders. Okay, so which one we don't need? So this is like test which we don't need it. I'm just going to remove this. So apply and close. Now you see all we have is like these are the three folders, the three source folders which are being created. Okay. And you can see automatically JRE system has been added here. Okay, so I did not add anything here. Maven dependencies also, you can see a few Maven dependencies are added here. Okay, to see this, go to this pom.xml file. You'll see all the dependencies which will be listed here. Okay, so these are the dependencies. Okay, so Apache common, Apache main. So these are like, by default, it is coming up into this. Okay, so if you don't need this one, we can remove this. Okay, so we can remove this. So let me just go to this, and whichever is not required, we can remove this one. Okay. So Lombok, so this all developer name, local, source. Properties, you can see that Maven compiler, Maven target compiler, source compiler. Okay, I'll discuss about this, like what is Maven compiler and why do we use that Maven compiler and all. So here, in this, so we don't need this Lombok and all. Apache Login4j, we'll have this. We need to have this Apache Login4j. You need not to worry about this, what I'm trying to do, only just create it and add those dependencies. Okay. So I'm just putting this log4j and rest of the folders common UI. So these are like Apache common libraries which will be used as part of our programming. For example, you see, now I'm going to create a simple class here. Okay, in test, I'm going to create a simple class. Test class. Here, I'll take main method. And if I say, okay, so still it is not, we did not add the Apache pipe libraries. Okay, so let me delete those things which are not required. So we don't need this. HTTP clients. Okay, if they are there is no problem at all. But the thing is, like, if it is not required, you can delete it. Okay. So first thing is, like, we are going to add the dependencies for Selenium. Okay. How do we add the dependencies to the Selenium? Okay, go to the pom.xml file and we just look into the Selenium. If it is there, we need not to add it. If it is not there, how do we add it? Is like we need to go to the Selenium dev. Okay, Selenium dev, and we can go and search. Go to this Java docs. Yeah, we have like downloaded here. Let me just, it is downloading the Java docs. Sorry. Let me go to this Maven information, MVN repository. So here we have, like, you can see that Java, Selenium Java. Okay, I'll go back to this and I'll show you. So we need to go to this documentation. Sorry, downloads. Okay, so downloads, scroll down. One is like you can add the jars here. Okay, so with the, like, when once you click on it, it will download the jars. But what is that we are trying to add is, like, now we have to add the Selenium HQ dependencies. Okay, so to add these dependencies, I'm coming to the Maven repository, and here you can see Selenium Java. Okay, so Selenium Java. So this is what the repository we need to, this is what the dependencies that we need to add. Okay, so click on this. Now you can see it will show the version, different versions here. Okay, so I'll be taking the latest one. So 4.9.1. So I'll be adding these dependencies. Okay. Oh, sorry for this. I just clicked on the other. Copy this and paste it here. Okay. So we added the Selenium dependency. Okay. So we added the Selenium dependency. Now, to check whether the dependencies are added properly or not, we can go ahead here and I'll be creating some static web driver. If I say this one, so it is like, now you can see that web driver is automatically coming. Okay, so this is nothing but we have added the dependency. Okay, that is nothing but in common we can say that we have added the jar file. Okay, so now where it should show, here you can see in Maven dependencies, we'll see that Selenium, Chromium, everything is coming as part of this project. Okay, so what are the dependencies that we are going to add is like, I'll tell you here. One is Selenium, TestNG, WebDriver, Manager, Apache Poi, and Log4j is already for us. Log2 4j, Log4j2, sorry. Okay, Log4j2 is already there. Okay, so these are the dependencies that we are going to add. TestNG. Now next we are going to search for the testing. Okay, directly you can go to this Maven repositories. Okay, go to this Maven repositories. Yes, it will have all the latest. Okay, now you say TestNG. When you type TestNG, it will show you the TestNG. Okay, click on this 7.8. Like 7.8 is the latest version. Copy it and come here. Before this, now you see, I don't want to use this main method. Okay, so in this case, we have to add this test. @test. Okay, @test is like the basic thing that will start executing the application. Public void test. Now what is happening here? It is asking you to add the libraries. Okay, you see this? There is error. Import TestNG JUnit Jupyter. So it is like it is taking from somewhere else. Okay, otherwise you have to add the TestNG libraries. Okay, but now when you add this dependencies, automatically that will be taken from the TestNG. You see. Okay, it's loading here. You can see building this particular project. Okay, now we got it. Now you see, it will take it from the TestNG annotations. Okay, TestNG annotations. So if you don't want to have this dependencies like JUnit and all, so you can remove this. Okay, because this is, it will show these things are coming from the JUnit. Okay, so you can remove this. If you are not using this, you can remove these dependencies. Okay, I'm just saving it now. Now here you can see automatically it is showing me. Sample test class. Go and run it. Just we are testing it. Okay. So it is like listening now. So it is loading this TestNG. So that is the reason why it is taking some time. After executing, it will show up here. Few things, if it is not required, this Lombok and all, it's not required for us now. So I'm just deleting this Lombok. So here also we have the Lombok, right? So Lombok. We have already deleted that, so it's not required. Now it is like, see, detected TestNG version 7.8.0, and it is executing that. So now we got it right. Sample test class. Okay, just we have created sample test class. Okay, so now what are we going to do is like we are going to add the dependencies of WebDriver Manager. Okay, otherwise WebDriver Manager is not there. In this case, yeah, there is another thing that we can do is like after Selenium 4.4, directly we can create object for this class. Okay, say d.get https. I'm just trying to load full.com. and run it. Okay, do you see that it is opening the browser? Okay, so that's nothing but so from Selenium 4.8, I guess. Okay, so 4.8. So we need not to have this WebDriver manager. But in certain cases, like if you want to exit, for example, if you have this thing should be executed in different browsers. Okay, and I'll put one, you have two. Same code is that right? So I'll just take this one, paste it here. Go here and put in Firefox driver. Go and execute this. I want to terminate it, right? So I will terminate it. Wait. This will copy this one. Come here, enter. Come here. Right click, run as. First one, it will open in Chrome. Get the title and close it. In second one, it will open. Echo driver. Get the title and close it. Third one, it will open in Edge. Okay. So this is like, what we have done now. We have added the dependencies. What are the dependencies that we have added? So we have added the Selenium and TestNG. Okay. So next is like we are going to add the, here we see that we have given, okay, so TestNG and Selenium. Now we have to add, like if it is required, WebDriver manager is like one other dependency that we can add, and it is like optional. Okay, so WebDriver manager to maintain the different versions, like different versions. If you want to execute your code in different versions or different browsers, then we can use this one. Okay, so now this has been made optional now, but still we can go ahead and add this dependency whenever it is required. We can add it. Like whenever it is required to use this, we can use it. Okay, we'll be adding this into these dependencies. Now see, we don't have any headache of adding those jar files. We need not to download the jar file. Just add this, and it will be available here. Now what we can do, we can use that web driver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Okay, so but this is like this dependency is available. So automatically your all details about this particular classes and everything will be available. Okay, we need not to add that source file at all, because now it will automatically add the source files. Okay, so for Chrome driver also, if you want to see the source and all, see, it will be shown here. Okay, so this is like Maven project that we have added, and we have added the dependencies. Okay, so what is the other dependencies that we need to add? The log4j Apache Poi is like one other dependency. Okay, go to this and you can type Apache Poi. Otherwise, Poi library. Directly type on this Poi, it will show you. So which are the things that we have to download here is like common Apache, and if you have like base OS like OE XML. So this is like whatever it is required, we have to use it. Okay, so here you can see we have like a lot of things, but you can use this one. Okay, common library. So this is like Apache Poi that we have. Another one is like we need to add another one also. I'll show you what is that we have to add. Go to the dependencies and now add it here. Okay, POI library will be available. And after that, we have another thing. Go back to this, and you can see that Apache POI. Okay, this is like 4.2, but this also like, we need to add it. Some of the supporting documents will be like some of the supporting jar files will be available. Okay, to be at safer side, we can add this one also. So earlier we saw that it was not showing up that XSF, right? So to read the data from the Excel file, it was not showing up. Okay, so now you see that it's going to show up the data, show up that particular classes which are part of like Apache POI. Okay, so public void. I'm just creating a sample. Required read data from Excel. File output stream. I'm just going to create a simple folder here. We'll call it as like data files. So inside this data file, go to this, add some Excel file. This is the project structure, guys. Actually, it has created this project structure. You can see all the project structure is available here. So data file, if you want to add a new data file, go to this XML, whatever we have, like XLS file. Login data. I'm just going to do it as like login data. Open this. I'm going to give some admin 1, 2, 3. Login and close this. Save it. Take the location. What is that? Login data. Okay, so that is a file name. This you can give it as like /. So here, now you can see SSF. Okay, let me go and see what is happening. Apache POI. Okay, let me delete this one, this dependency. Apache POI, we have added this Apache POI. I think we need to add additional POI files also. What is like, okay, let me add this one and let me add common files also. Okay. It should be in sequence actually. So otherwise, it will throw the error whenever you are trying to add it. Okay. So Apache POI, so this is for Apache POI also, and I'm going to add one more dependency. It's like common. Okay, Apache common is available in schema. This one is also We'll try to add this one. Okay, don't worry, guys. I'm going to give this form.xml file to you, whatever we are trying to add. Okay. So we have schemas, POI, and we have OA XML, and we have a commons also. Like we have like commons also that is available as part of like Apache library. Okay. So let me go ahead here and try to. Yeah, now we got it. Okay. XSF workbook. Okay. What is that we have to add is like we have to add these dependencies. So what are the three dependencies? POI, POI XML schemas, and XML. Okay. So if I don't add this XML schemas, I think, yeah, if I don't add this one, schemas, it should work. Maybe if it is required, then we can add it. Otherwise, we need not to add that. Okay. Let's see if it is. Yeah. So that is required. So it is the reason why it's showing the error. Okay. So these three should be there. Okay. So Apache, POI, Apache, inside this Apache POI, we have like POI OA XML schemas and OA XML. Okay, so these are the three dependencies we should have. So then only we can able to see this one. Now you see. Okay, so I'll be creating a workbook here. Workbook is equals to new XSF workbook. In that, I'm going to pass it as like FAS. Okay, now it is working fine. Yes, okay. So otherwise, it should have thrown this error. Okay, you can see this now. XSF sheet will be available. Sheet search is equals to wb.getSheet. Okay, what is that? We have a sheet name called login. Now it is like we can go ahead and try to read the data from the Excel file also. So we have got like what are the dependencies that we have added? Selenium HQ to support the Selenium APIs, TestNG to support the TestNG, and it is like WebDriver Manager to support the different set of drivers along with the versions. Okay, and POI Apache is like to handle the data from to read the data from the Excel file. Okay, to handle the Excel file. And simply log4j is like we'll discuss in next class. How do we use this log4j to read the to log the information onto the console as well as like putting them in a file. Okay, so to have this log maintained. Okay, to have this log maintained. I think these common libraries are not required. Let's see that if this is required, then we can keep it. Otherwise, we can remove this. Okay. So this is by default, it is coming from that particular Maven project. Okay. So far we have added this dependencies and we have added all this required like dependencies which we need to work on. So tomorrow I'll be showing you how do we add the plugins actually. Okay. So how do we add these plugins? I don't want to make it bigger one, guys. Let me just delete this one. If it is not required, then you need not to put all these things. Okay. So let me just remove all these dependencies which are not required as of now. Let's see that if it doesn't throw any errors, that is fine. Okay, I made it simple now. So earlier we had a lot of dependencies, right? So this dependency is also not required. Lombok, JUnit, persistence, client go, and these properties are not required. Only we'll put these properties which are required as part of our testing. Okay, so compiler. So we did not add the compiler even. So we have two plugins that we are going to use. One is like Maven compiler, another one is like Surefire plugin. So these are like two plugins that we are going to use. Okay. So here you can see that Maven compiler is like already added here with the along with the properties. Okay. So this also not required SEM developer and all. So whatever we'll make it like we'll put it very simple. We'll put the properties because properties have this information like compiler information. Okay, so I need to just Log4j also I just removed, right? So yeah, log4j. Let's put this properties, log4j properties, and rest of the things will remove. Okay, now we are not getting any other. So here also I'll remove this. So because these all things are like helpful, but not for our project. We have two sets of plugins that we use. Maven compiler plugin to compile your code. Surefire plugin is to execute your code. Okay, so one is like run compile time, another is like runtime. I'll just add those plugins here. So here we can add it. Okay, so one is like compiler plugin, another one is like, yeah. Anyways, we have this plugins here. We need to add one other plugin, and we can configure XML file. Okay, so if you want to execute your code using the XML file, that can be configured here under the configure and XML suite. Okay, configure, and inside that configure we have to add the XML suite location. So where it will pick from that location, it will execute that. Okay. Let me add that one also so that we will be completing that plugins also. Otherwise, we'll be behind with that. Okay. Plugins so what we include is like Maven. See, why do we use this Maven plugin and the compiler plugin and Maven Surefire plugin? Okay, so this is like what it does is like compiler plugin will help you to compile your code, and Surefire plugin will run the code. Okay, so I have like piece of configuration that I need to do it so that I can just add those plugins here. So I need to give the plugin information. So already we have like Surefire plugin here, and we need to add the Maven compiler plugin. Okay, so let me take the Maven compiler plugin. Maven save file already there, and I'll be taking the, just go here and search for this Maven compiler. Okay, we have this plugin here, and but the thing is like we should have this be defined as part of like a plugin. Okay, so in that we can go and add this artifact. These are the two things that we have to add. One is like artifact ID, another one is like group ID. So these two things. Just I'll do one thing, guys. I'll directly search from this. So we have a Maven compiler plugin. So here we'll go and try to get it. See here it is going to show up like how do we exactly configure this. You can see path, artifact ID, sample annotations, and we'll try to get that Maven compiler plugin. I'm trying to show you guys how do we exactly use that plugin. So otherwise, directly it is like ready-madely available in the market. Like you can just search for that and you can get it. But it's best to have this location, like where do we exactly find this and all. So that is what I want to show. Okay. Maven compiler. It is everywhere, like compiler is showing up. Configuration. Let me just try it now. Compiler plugin. So you can see that it is showing up these things, but we should have the plugins defined. Okay. So let me add for now. I'll just try to add it from the source. Like already have this plugins defined in my project itself. No, I'll take this one. So it should be there. Yeah. So here you can see Maven compiler plugin. We have Maven Surefire plugin. We have, and this plugins we can use it. Okay. So far, like I've just created this. For our references. So I'm just going to copy this. So already we have this Surefire plugin defined as part of this project. So you can see that we have this Surefire plugin. Okay. So test plugin and the version also we are taking it from this parameter. Okay. Properties. So if you want to define the properties, so we can define the properties here. Okay. So I mean to say that versions we can manage. If we are using this version somewhere else, and if you want to use this directly, you can define them as like a properties. Okay, so I'll take the Maven compiler plugin and resource plugin from this. Okay, so there's two plugins. I'm going to take it. Plugin, and we have plugins. All the plugins should be defined under this. Okay. So now we have added the Surefire plugin. Failsafe plugin is like it will help you to, in case like if we have any something, something is failing, so it will avoid that in abrupt, like in abrupt termination. I'm to say that suddenly something has to be terminated, right? So it will play the failsafe. Okay, so it's like only used for this plugins, and we have resource plugins and compiler plugins also we have added. Now we have to configure that XML. Okay, so for that we have to add one tag called configure tag. Okay, so configuration of tag. So here we are going to add one. So configure XML file. If you want to add this, so you have to, if you want to execute your test using the XML file, then we have to add this configuration. And this is nothing but configuration tag. Inside that we are going to give this root files, and we have to give the file location here. Okay, so file location. Now we don't have any files here, so I'll be creating one file. So I'll go here and I'll try to create this one. I'm going to convert it to the test.ng XML, and I'm going to put it some location. Here you can see this is the file. Okay, so directly I can give the test.ng.xml. Okay, so now you see when I run this through the XML, see test.ng XML suite. Okay, so I encountered a problem. What is that? Let me just check. File classes associating Maven. Let me execute this. Not read form.xml file. So here, when we try to run it, run as, yeah, we have this option, and we'll try to run it as like as test.ng XML. Launching test class is encountered a problem. Let me just go ahead and try to update this Maven project. Build plugin management. So all the plugins are added here along with the configurations also we have added. I'll just close this one also. Form.xml. Right click, run as details. Start tag seems unrecognized tag configuration. Okay. So it is not able to recognize this configuration. We have to put it inside this plugins. Okay, so Maven compiler plugin I've used, and so this should be used within the Surefire plugin. Sorry, it's okay. So this is one mistake that I made, is like we have to put it under the Surefire plugin. So here, because it will execute this code when we have done the compiler, the compilation is done. So we have to put it in this sequence. Let me put it in the sequence. It's like best practice to put it. First is like compiler. Okay, compiler plugin. And after that we have compiler plugin. So why do we use plugins actually? Is like to support it. Okay, for examples, if we have dependencies, all dependencies is like it's going to help us in executing the code. Okay, I mean like to provide the services to the code, but for the execution, for the execution. Okay, so here you see that these are all kind of like jars that we have. But plugins, what they do is like, see, in jars only providing services as like to support the code. But in case of plugins, why do we need plugins? Is like additional support is like if we want to compile the code and see if there are any errors, or if you want to like execute the code and see the errors. Okay. So what it does is like it's going to compile the whole project at a time. Okay. It will compile whole project at a time. And these are like supporting plugins that we are going to use for compilation. Okay. So let me just go ahead and like it should SNG shouldn't be any dependency. But launching could not read unrecognized plugin starts seeing plugin here. So it is saying something. Plugins, okay. This is one thing. It is plugin and plugin. This plugin and this is plugin and this is plugin and plugin. And here we are missing one plugin. Okay, tag should be properly put in. Otherwise, it's going to throw the errors like this. Now it is executing this. Okay, I mean, first time executing it through the testng XML. Okay, so what it should do in case of testng XML, what are the things that we have given here? You can see it should execute all 3 classes. Okay, all 4 classes. I'm going to show it in 2 ways. One is like I'm going to execute it through XML file. Another one is like I'm going to normally execute it through the Java file. Another one is like I'm going to execute it through the pom.xml file. Okay, 3 things I'm going to show you. The advantage of using Maven is like now you see that you don't need to have those jar files added or versions keep on changing those versions. This is all not required. Okay, so and running it through XML files. Now it's like you can create a number of XML files and put one XML file as a suite file and execute it. Okay, so this is like easy for us to manage. But the thing is like we have to configure that pom.xml correctly, otherwise it will throw the errors. Okay, so we have to add the required plugins, everything should be there. Now we see that all, okay, that for this one wouldn't be working any such factory or something, but you can see all 3 are executed and it is passing. So this is from the XML file I am running. So now I'm going to run it through the pom.xml file. Okay, pom.xml file is like it will go and run, it should pick automatically the XML file which is located in this location. Testng XML file. Okay, so it is there in the project, so that is the reason why I'm directly giving it. If I'm putting it somewhere in the folder, we have to give the location of that folder. Okay, now you see right click, run as, you have a lot of things here. Say Maven build, clean, install, test. Okay, so we see if I say Maven build, we can give the goals here. What is your goal is like clean in the sense if any of these dependencies, for example, here you see there are like target folder, right? So you see the target folder here. So when you refresh this, you can see this is target folder will have some set of information. Okay, so when I right click and run as, clean here, what it does is like it's going to clean. If there are any unreferenced dependencies are there, it's going to remove that. Okay. So now you see deleting Ashoka ID something target is like, if we have any unreferenced things that are there in this target, it's going to remove this. Okay. So I'll refresh this. Now you see that the target folder will be cleaned up. So next is like right click on this pom.xml file, run as Maven build. So here you can give the goals, whatever goals that you want to give. Okay, I want to clean the project and I want to run it. So in that case, what I need to select and give the goal as like clean test. Okay, run it. Now it will pick up that XML file from that configuration C from pom.xml and it's like deleting this and it is checking for the resources. It will compile the code. Now it is like compiling C. So copying one resource and it's like compiling. Now it is compiling and checking whether there are any errors in the code or not. Okay. See after that, see now it is like testing compile is completed. Now it is executing. Okay. Surefire. This is nothing but what it is doing now. Surefire plugin is like it's going to execute the test. Okay. Now you see that it is adding all the required dependencies. Whatever we have dependencies that needs for executing this code are getting downloaded. Okay, when it says test, then it is starting the state. Everything is working fine. Now it is executing it from the pom.xml. So now we are not executing it from the test.xml. Now we are executing it from the pom.xml. Okay, so it will say that what is the expected behavior of this build. If it is build is success, it will show build success. If it is failed, it's going to show the fail. Okay, so there are some errors it is showing. Please refer to the dump or something. Okay, so one error because this one is not passing, right? Whatever we talked about, like one of these tests is failing. Okay, so let me just refresh this. And you can see there is like target. In the target, you can see there are few reports which are generated. See, what are these reports? These reports are generated, say test output and this report both are similar. Okay, that's nothing but now everything is like captured as part of like Surefire report. So Surefire report will have the default report. Okay, so when you just open it, you'll come to see that what is that error run. So I'm just trying to open this with the help of like class, with the help of the Chrome browser. I want to open it. Now you can see that which test it is failing. See, test one, these three are passing and this is failing. And because the reason is like no such field error, and this is the report that it is generated. Now this particular project is like I don't have any Eclipse here. Okay, I don't have Eclipse. I want to run it from this location. How do I run it now? See, pom.xml file, right? See, what I need to do is like I'll just typing this cmd command. Now you can see that it is opening this file. Okay, so only you need to do is like mvn clean test. Okay, so we have to give the cd tab. You can get that pom.xml. So just take it as like cd. It's not sorry for this. I'm just running now. So Maven, I want to run this pom. Okay. So okay. Yeah, we need to give till this project guys. Okay. MVN and clean test. See, I'm setting the goals now. So what it will do is like it will try to execute it from the CMD. Now I'm just trying to execute it from the command prompt. Now you see, it is running from this location. I'm not opening any this Eclipse also. So Maven will take care of this execution. Okay. It will open Chrome browser. So this will help you to execute your code from the Jenkins also. Directly you can give this location of the Maven. Jenkins will pick up this location and it will execute. Okay, so there we have to configure like what is that command that we have to pass. Okay, so it will show all the report here why it is failing. Okay, so now you can go and comment this. We can execute it. So here also we can execute it. Okay, how do we execute it here? So it's like you can directly right click on this. You can run as like testng file, or else you can go to the class and run as. So you have an option here, testng test, or you can run it on the Maven build. Okay, or else you can give the current configurations also. Okay, so but here it's like you can directly go and run it from the Maven test. So it will also execute it from the Maven. Now you see it is picking up from the Maven. So here also we can execute it. Okay, so once it is done, we can exit from this. Okay, but in real time we are going to use the Maven. We don't use that general Java project because of the dependencies, maintaining the dependencies. Okay, so please follow this video, guys, and try to create the project, Maven project. Like what we have followed the step is like we downloaded, we installed it, we configured it, and after that we run with the simple program and added the dependencies, and after that I added the plugins. Okay, now we see that all it is showing is like 3 success. We don't have any failures in this case. Okay, so here you can see this is the pom.xml file. So you can get this pom.xml file. I can upload this project. So I'll show you like how do we do it in case of like how do we upload this project to the Git. Okay. So what are the topics that we are left with is like these are all important topics, guys, now. So we are left with now tomorrow we'll be discussing about like how do we exactly create the log4j2, and after that we are going to use extend report configured in testng XML. Okay, in testng, I mean like testng XML essence, we are going to use testng XML for explaining this in testng fashion. Okay, so after that we are going to see JDBC, and after that we are going to see the grid, and after that finally we are going to see about like how do we like sample. We are going to see sample hybrid model framework. Then we are going to see about like how do we put these things in Git. After that we are going to see the running these things from the Jenkins. Okay, so these are the topics that we are left, and tomorrow like probably in next week we'll be completing this. Okay, so next coming like at least it would take 5 to 7 days, at least like 7 days it would take, and we will be done. Okay, so please practice this, guys, and let me know if you have any doubts. And it will be like kind of challenge for us now. It's like practicing is important for us. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Please go through this video, guys, and let me know if you have any doubts. And what I can do is like, I don't want to upload it to the Git now because I want to show you like how do we exactly use it. But go through this video and you can understand like how do we exactly. So I'm just trying to copy this and paste it in your chart. Just give me a second, guys. I can send it over. Just I'm trying to paste it. Okay, so do one thing. I'll just show you the other way also. Just I'm trying to create one sample Maven project. Okay, so here I'm just going to the files, new Maven project. So instead of having this much complex, then we can use one more thing is like archetype quick start. Okay, so we'll try to create that one also. I'll show you that one also. We go to all catalogs. Inside that we can take Maven. It is loading as 1 second. Maven. Very fun archetype. Yeah, this one. But we should have Maven, Apache Maven. And try to find out this org Apache. Apache.maven hyphen archetype. In this archetypes, we can just go ahead and try to select the quick start. This is what it is. Okay. So you can take this one. So other one also you can use any one of it. Okay. I just created the complex one, right? You need not to use that one. So here you can see this is the quick start. So click on this and next I'm just going to give it as like sample. Sample PROG. Like Control C. Okay. So only thing you need to do is like I'll go back again. I'll show you. Right. Click on this file, Maven project. It will show this wizard. Go to catalogs. All catalogs I have used Maven Central. From Maven Central, I'm going to get that one. Okay. So all catalogs, and here you can type Apache org.apache.maven archetypes. So in that archetype, you have to select Maven archetype quick start. Is that it is here. Okay, quick start. So this is what, otherwise you can type it as like Maven archetype quick start, but it will be artifacts will be like duplicated one. But here when you see that our group ID will be available like maven.archetypes, and you can see that it is showing up this one artifact. So next, click on this next, and you already created this, click on finish. So it will be like quick, whereas compared to the earlier one that we have created, right? It's trying to create it. Okay, it will take some time, but there you see that all dependencies are not added. All properties dependency, only on JUnit dependency will be there. Okay, this is another way of creating this. Yes. Now it is like finished. You can see here, you can go to this. You see that it did not create those packages and all. Okay, I mean like source folders and all. So here we have like simple pom.xml. So here we have like JUnit and plugin management. These plugins are already created here. Okay, Surefire plugin and Maven Compiler plugin. But the earlier one I did not create it. Okay, so here you need to add like everything is like readily available. Only you need to add one configuration suite. That is nothing but go to this Surefire. There is that Surefire. Yeah, this is like Surefire. We have inside that we have to add the configuration. Configuration under that we have to add the suite Enter. Files. Suite files, I guess. Okay. It should be under this. What is that we have? Suite XML files, and yeah, suite XML files. It is not showing up the tags. It should show the tags. Okay. Suite XML files, and here can give suite XML file. Okay. Within this, we can give this file, and you can give the file location here. Within this configuration. Okay. So we have just created one simple XML file. You can give testng.xml. So this is files. And everything is like simple, right? So you can just go ahead and copy this and paste it here. You can change the location of it. So it is like sample project or sample project. PROJ dot what are the file that we have here? So test file, just copy it and put it under this test file. Remove this. So here we have to add the dependency. Simply, I'm just copying it from there, right? So I'll just go here and try to copy this dependencies. Whatever dependencies what we have here. Fill this. Okay, we'll add this properties also. We'll go here. Once you add this dependency, only that POM file that we are changing, nothing else that we are changing. Okay, so everything is as similar. Everything is like see, it is working as similar. Okay, so I'll close everything and I'll just open this pom.xml file. Now we have like two projects that we have created, Maven. Okay, so one is like pom.xml with all the suggested dependencies for that archetype, and now you see that we have this particular file. Okay, so you can see this file. So right click on it. If you want to run it, you can run it from here also. You can run it. We will try to run it from the pom.xml file. We should get the same set of results here, but in a different project. Now, why did not take the dependencies? Because dependencies are already available in local, as we discussed here, right? So first time what it does, it will take the dependencies from the central, and after that it will pull it into the local. Next time when you run, it will take from this location. Okay, so I meant to say that it will take from this location where these dependencies are residing. I is opening the Chrome browser. I'll show you like where these dependencies are residing. Are like you can go to this OS and here users and take the del. You can see .m2. Okay, all the dependencies will be residing here. Okay, do you see this? So Selenium related dependencies will be residing here. You can see that project. This one is also created. Okay, this is like little different. I'll tell you how do we do that. But that is not required for us. And I'm just trying to explain you. When you try to create some packages and all, in that case, it will go and create. But you see this, all these dependencies are there, right? org.selenium dependencies. Selenium HQ and Selenium dependencies. All these dependencies are there. Okay. Now you see that if whichever dependency that you want, you can look into this. Okay. Say Chrome driver, all the different versions of Chrome drivers are there. Okay, along with the source files also. So that is the beauty of this Maven. Okay, now you see it is working successfully. So just we have created one project and copied everything into it. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is like I can try to just give this project to you so that you can just take it and just import into the Eclipse. Okay, so Eclipse just what you need to do is like you need to click on this file and place it in your some location there. From there you can just install. Okay, you can see that you can just use this existing Maven projects. Okay, so for example, if I give it to you, so what you need to do is like you need to extract it and put it in some location. From there you can import it. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll just try to share it with you in the WhatsApp. Okay, so in the WhatsApp, then you can just use it. So let me just go to this properties and I'll just compress to zip. So this file, I'll share it through WhatsApp. I see that if I have this WhatsApp, then that is fine. Okay, I need to open that. WhatsApp web. I'll share it in this project, guys. Okay, I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. You can use that one. Just taking that location. This is my wife's actually. So this is where everybody is there, right? So let me just check. Okay, everybody's here. Now you can see, okay. So maybe you can try just downloading this. After downloading, what you need to do is like go to this Eclipse and you can see this file. You can see the import option. Okay, import, extract that. Okay, extract it and you can see the import option here. Just click on this Maven and you can see existing Maven project. Okay, so it will show you like this is the existing Maven project, right? It will just, you need to browse it, extract the location, just select that project. That's it. Okay, click on finish. it will be available in your machine.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Let's meet tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.